We are recording and music.
You are now listening to LauerRoadRadio.
Hey, welcome one and all to the number one podcast, winter, spring, and fall. Talking sports for the thrill of it all. Hey, talking life, but we're killing it all. Jason and Dan with the master plan. These are dangerous men with the mic in the hand. Huh? Bonafide winners everywhere that we go. You're a part of the team.
LauerRoadRadio.
Dad light, thug light, bright lights in sight. All right. Dad light, thug light, bright lights in sight. All right. Yeah. Dad light, thug light, bright lights in sight. All right. Bonafide winners everywhere that we go. You're a part of the team.
LauerRoadRadio.
Let's get it.
What? At Tanagro, when the walls fell, filling in for Dan, I, Jesse, with the other Owings offspring, Jason.
It's kind of weird how you said that, but you know,
It is.
there's
I was
another
gonna say
one.
the older, but I don't know
older.
if are
I
you
am
the
older,
oldest?
yeah. Older, wiser, smarter.
Well, I didn't know about
better
your sister.
looking.
I wasn't
Yeah,
sure.
she's the youngest.
I should have said it.
She's the baby.
If the
so-
the oldest Owings offspring would have been great.
Yeah,
Messed it
it's
up.
true. Oh well, maybe next week we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know if Dan's coming back.
Ever.
He's having a good time in Montana.
Listen, the pictures.
Yeah.
I wouldn't come back.
No, it's beautiful.
They
up
look
there.
like backdrops. Like they look fake.
They hiked
so
up to
pretty.
Glacier Lake, and it's on a mountain, and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
In the big sky. It's big sky country.
Yeah.
You could tell. I mean, the sky.
It's huge.
Have you ever been there?
No.
It's pretty great.
I'd love to go.
We went up for his wedding 20 years ago, whatever it was. And it was 20 years ago, actually. And they did the reception on the Yellowstone River. And the guy had a hand-built, like, log cabin. And everything was, like, locally sourced rocks. And it was beautiful. Like, that is a place that I could be. Now, the weather is awful. Like,
Really?
in the wintertime, it's like -30. Dan told a story once where at Walmart in Montana, when people go in the wintertime, they leave their truck running to go in to get groceries.
They're just an
Everybody.
hour in the store. Everyone just leaves their trucks.
Yeah, the parking lot is filled with trucks running because if you shut them off, you might not be able to start it again. That's how cold it is.
Yeah. You know, that probably means they have a pretty low crime rate up there, too, if people are...
What are you
doing
trying
that.
to say?
Well, I'm just saying, if you leave your truck running
Oh yeah, I mean,
here-
there's lots of options to choose from. You could pick the best truck in the lot to steal, but
Yeah.
nobody does. Everybody's in the same boat.
They're all in the...
Now,
in
I
the
did
boat
have
together.
a theory. Many years ago, I worked third shift security at a hotel. And every hour on the hour, it sounds like a radio station, every hour on the hour. But I would walk the parking lot and walk all the floors of this hotel. It's like 13 stories or something like that. And I noticed the activity, the negative activity, increased with good weather. And if it was rainy and sleet and snow,
Yeah.
I didn't even have to walk
Didn't even have to do it.
because everybody's hunkered down.
Yeah. Even the bad guys are like, this weather kind of sucks.
I don't need to be out in this.
I don't need to steal people's stuff right now.
I did walk up on one guy in the process of breaking. I didn't realize I was walking up on him. I was just walking the lot, and I walked up right on him, and he was breaking into a truck as I walked up on him. And I'm like, I'm 18, 19, 20 years old. I'm a kid. And I'm like, sir, can I help you? And he turns around real quick, and he's like, I locked my keys in my truck. I said, hold on. Let me go inside. I'll get some tools. I'll be right back. I was going to go call. I didn't even have a cell phone. I was going to go call 911 and get
Yeah.
And so and he's like, oh, yeah, okay. And as I started to go, he turned and ran.
Yeah, he dipped
So-
out. He was like, I'm not.
Because, I mean, if he had a gun,
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't want
Oh,
to get
yeah.
shot, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we both, like, startled each other. I'm like, I don't...
When the
Okay,
fact
you're a
that
bad
you were
guy. I'm a
working-
good guy. We don't have to fight.
Yeah.
You just go away.
Just leave.
Yeah.
Well, the fact that you were working security at 18,
Yeah.
like, what are you gonna do?
I think I was 20.
20.
Yeah. But still, I mean, I was a kid. I mean, I didn't know anything.
Yeah, I mean, you weren't like a trained security
No.
guard. They were just like, hey, walk around and
Yeah, just make sure nobody's dying.
yeah,
I had a couple scares. I don't know. I mean, so like alarm clock was going off one time. It was like 5 o'clock in the morning, and people were calling the front desk complaining like it's going off. And you need to do something about it, you know, like the neighbors to that room. So I'm security. My badge will open up any door. And I knock on the door. Security. Nobody's answering. I'm like, maybe nobody's in there. Maybe someone left and then forgot to shut the alarm and it's just going off.
Or maybe someone's dead.
Or, that's the other option. So I go in there. I open up the door. And there's a 20-year-old chick completely naked on the bed, on her back, like passed out. And I'm like, everything was a shock. I'm like,
I'm not equipped to handle this.
I don't know what to do right now.
Yeah.
I shut the clock off and left. I didn't know what to do. I don't think she was dead. I mean, I could see her breathing.
You just cracked a case.
It was
from
like
20 years ago.
Yeah. I was like so freaked out. And then, I mean, I could tell a bunch of stories, but the last one I'll mention. It was my very last night of work. And one of my duties was like midnight, I would go into the pool area, shut all the lights off, kick everybody out, whatever. And the pool had 2 bathrooms with showers in them. So I go in, and if the lights are on, I shut the lights off. And I went in the guy's bathroom, shut the lights off. Go in the girl's bathroom, the lights are on, but the shower's running. So someone's probably in there. So I'm like, security. I shut the light off, like flicked it, like nothing. Security, and I shut it off again, nothing. I'm like, someone's dead in that shower.
Yeah.
Someone is dead in that shower right now. I'm like, I don't even know what to do.
Like, just leave the light off.
Yeah.
It's the morning shift's problem.
Yeah, that's not my problem. I mean, I checked on it. Nobody was there. It was just someone had turned on the shower.
Yeah.
But I was just, I mean, once again, a 20-year-old kid, what do you do?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just making stuff up as I go.
I worked at a hotel third shift a couple years ago.
Okay.
At the front desk.
Yeah.
And
Were you the only one there overnight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even the
So you have to
management-
deal with everything.
Well, no. The management even told me, she was like, hey, listen, if we're at like 60 or 70% occupancy and you don't want to deal with people, just turn off the occupancy, light and lock the doors. So every night about 11 o'clock, I'd come in for work, I'd shut them off. And no one ever checked in when I was on the clock.
Oh, gosh.
But one lady called like the front desk and she's like, I can't get this air conditioner to work. And I'm like, okay. She goes, but when you get here to the room, be quiet. My husband's sleeping. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So I walk in and he's got like this CPAP machine.
Oh, yeah.
I'd never seen one. I'm like, what is this?
She's keeping him alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like she's in like this 90. It was just super weird. I went in, I pressed one button, turned it on. I was like, I'm done.
I'm out. Yeah, it was weird. So when I worked, there was 3 people on staff, and it was a front desk person, me, security, and there was a maintenance guy. And it was a pretty big hotel, Sheridan Hotel in Tulsa. And so it was nice because I wasn't alone.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, to be alone in a situation like that, everything falls on you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's terrifying.
Once
again, as a
through my
kid, you don't know, it's like, why did you leave this responsibility on me?
Listen, the naked lady on the bed thing, though, that's one where you're like, I don't know if I'd have even gone in there. I'd be like, I'm going to leave that thing running. I'm called. Like,
I honestly didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I'm freaking out because the people are complaining. Oh, yeah, but so much of it was wrong. Like, I don't even know what to do.
Yeah.
People are complaining. If I don't shut it off, they'll continue to call and get upset. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. And all these thoughts are running through my mind at once, And I just glad I got in and out before she woke up. She probably missed her plane if she was flying somewhere, or if she had to be somewhere in the morning because she was probably passed out drunk.
Yeah.
Is what I'm guessing. Because my kids sleep through alarms all the time.
How long?
There's a water bottle there. Stella. I said there's a water bottle there.
Oh, thank you.
Is that your water bottle?
Yeah, it's for basketball tonight. I mean, I will sleep through an alarm, but if it's and it's on the other side of the room, I have to I can't sleep through that.
Yeah, my kids do, and I just don't understand how they even do that. So typically, real quick, Dan should be back next week, and this might be Stella's last episode for a while. She's moving off to college, and I don't think she's going to be around for next week's episode. So Dan's not here to help send her off. So we'll just have to do it between you and I. So Jesse's taking her place. the man in the booth.
I'm the man in the booth.
Yeah.
And, I'm not saying things are going to get better. I don't know if they're going to get worse, but
It'll be a
we'll
wash.
see. It'll be
Now,
a wash.
I am going to train you. I've had many people who watch it, and they're angry at the soundboard right here because you can kind of see it in the cables and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think what I'm going to do is I'll probably give you the soundboard and the video stuff.
Okay.
I didn't trust Stella to do everything. I think I would now because she's proven herself. But when
Yeah.
we first started, I'm like, just one thing at a
Just
time.
one thing.
I can do this. You can
Yeah.
do that. And I'm working at trying to get a fourth camera so that I can get one on you. Not that it's going to be ever shown.
Listen,
but,
that would definitely boost the ratings for the show. The dozens of people that watch right now would absolutely love it.
So we did get a comment from Shoeless Joe.
Oh, we have a comment?
Yeah, from specifically to you. We had a couple comments, but specifically towards you or about you. He said, this is Shoeless Joe from Arkansas, friend of the show. He watches all the time. He says, Jesse was a good fill-in. Sad to hear that he's no longer the coffee middleman. I could have used him. So
Thank you, Shoeless Joe.
yeah, so Joe. I know Joe. Joe's a great guy, and I believe he would have used you to buy coffee.
Well,
So
shoot, maybe we'll just have to open back up. Shoeless Joe, keep us in business.
now he is a pastor at a church down there. So I mean, if he gets the whole church involved,
Listen,
I mean, you could be rolling in dozens of dollars.
dozens of dollars. Listen, there's about 70 other distributors that sell the exact same coffee with the exact same names in the exact same bag with a slightly different logo.
Yeah, so that's exactly what I said when we described it. I'm like, he's just buying something bulk, slapping a logo on it, and selling it. Yeah.
Yep.
Now, maybe we should sell Lauer Road coffee.
Listen,
Was it good coffee? I think I had a little bit.
some
it
of
just
it
was okay.
I mean, there were a couple that I was like, oh, this is better than average coffee. So
That's the pitch. It's better than average
better than
coffee.
average
the
coffee.
average Folgers that you get at the store. It's
Better than that.
slightly better than that. It's better than average. So, Shoeless Joe had a comment there. So we're excited moving forward. So next week, Jesse will probably be behind the camera. Dan will probably be here to my left, your right. And if you're listening, none of that matters because you're not watching at all.
Yeah.
So we're on every format. If you listen on one format and you need to figure out a different format to listen or watch, just Google it.
Yeah.
We're everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's that. So typically we bring 3 things to the table. Sometimes we don't get to all 3. Sometimes we do. So tonight, once again, I have a bunch of different things. And we'll just see how this goes. So did you know the average person blinks between 15 and 20 times per minute? So often that our eyes are closed for about 10% of waking hours.
wow.
If you blink 10 to 15 times a second, the math is 10%.
Yeah.
Your eyes are closed 10% of the time that you're awake.
Wow.
Isn't that
You
crazy?
didn't even know it.
Yeah. Now, what's really freaky for me is when I think about blinking, I can't not.
Yeah, it's like
blink.
now I'm like,
Yeah, I don't want to blink, but
Yeah,
you know,
you have to.
I have to blink,
Same
and
with
I'm noticeable
yawning.
about every blink. What's that?
same with yawning, right? I'm gonna say it a couple times. So
Yeah,
at
I
some
don't-
point, we're like, I'm already feeling
If
it.
you talk the yawn, I don't think I yawn. If you yawn, it's going to trigger a yawn. Maybe.
Biting one down. So now everyone that's listening, you're either post yawn or pre yawn, but you're gonna yawn.
See, I'm not so sure about the yawn thing. The blinking thing is the thing that really gets me because now that I'm thinking about it, I can't just blink involuntarily. Like every blink, I feel like I'm blinking.
It's real.
Man, you got a problem. You have narcolepsy? Is that like when you just fall asleep?
I didn't used to listen. I used to make fun of my dad all the time because he'd just fall asleep in any chair. He'd just be sitting there.
Well, that's a dad life.
It is.
That's, yeah.
But I'm a dad now, and I could fall asleep at any given minute. I mean, I just
There's
zonk
something
out.
special that dads can do that moms can't do, and it's drowned out that noise.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, not even drowned it out, but ignore it altogether.
Yeah. Yep. Kids' diapers full. Dad's asleep.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dad might.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's dads are special that way.
Yeah. We are. We
Yeah.
are.
Moms can't do that as much. So, we don't have to go in depth about blinking, but
No,
I just thought
just
that
a
was
fun fact.
interesting. Fun fact. So what do you have?
So I've been working on a list. So the first thing, and I just have to talk about this. So I play disc golf, and every
Yes.
Tuesday.
You've mentioned that multiple times now.
There's
The
this,
people that do disc golf, you
Yeah.
can't be around them without them mentioning it.
we're like CrossFitters, right?
yeah.
Maybe not quite as bad,
Well,
but yeah. So
do
it's
you have
super
multiple
fun.
discs? You have a
Oh
driving.
yeah,
Yes,
I have like
that's a
I carry
problem.
like 20 at a time.
It's
Yeah,
not just a generic frisbee.
Oh no! Don't even call it a frisbee ball. People say, "Hey, you doing frisbee golf?" It's like I will.
No, it's disc
It's
golf.
disc.
Yeah.
They're so much different. But anyway, so I won't bore you guys with the
Thank you.
intricacies of disc golf. But what I will say is when people throw them, they go 50, 60 miles per hour, and the drivers are more sharp on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
edges. And
So you
we were
could
on
hurt
the-
someone.
Oh, you could hurt someone. So we're playing Tuesday, and at Sawyer Ludwig
Yeah.
Park here in Marion, there's a hole that goes over the creek, and there's a bridge, and that's the line that a lot of people throw is try to go over the bridge.
Right.
Well, we were waiting on a team before us to finish up, and they finish up, they're walking away, and we see this young girl and this young guy, somewhere between probably 14 and 16, come out of the woods. No,
Yeah.
not going to go there, but coming out of the woods, and they stop on the bridge.
Yeah.
And they're just sitting there taking pictures, not acting like they're going to move at all.
Yeah.
And so the
They're
guy
in
that's-
path.
They're right in
yeah.
path. And so the guy's throwing's like, "Hey, watch out." Nothing.
Yeah.
"Hey, I'm throwing a disc.
Were they
watch
deaf?
out." Deaf or just, we were yelling. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Hey, heads up." And he's like, "What do I do?" And I was like, "Throw it. If you hit him, you hit him." Like the rock, if they die,
Yeah.
they die. Like, I was
If
like,
he
just throw
dies,
it. I was like,
he
and here's
dies.
the thing. There's a really low percentage chance that you're going to hit him.
Yeah.
This is a big gap.
But now that you've said it out
Now
loud,
that I've said it.
the chances have increased.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he throws it, and about halfway to the bridge, this guy goes, "Oh, no." And I'm kind of sitting now, so I can't see the whole thing. And he goes, "No, no." And I'm like, "Yes, yes." And you hear a thud. It hit the girl right in the back of the neck, at the base of her neck.
Oh.
Immediately.
It could kill her.
It could. Listen, everyone else,
Like literally.
everyone
that
else
could kill her.
watching. So
Yeah.
there was 8 of us standing there watching.
Yeah.
Everyone else was super concerned. Like, "Oh no." I was like, "Yes." I was like, "Man," like, and he's like, "No, like she could be hurt." And I was like, "Yeah, but you
warned
said
her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we warned her several times. I heard it.
Yeah.
200 feet away, I heard it hit
The
her.
thud. Yeah.
And you could see her kind of like jolt forward.
Oh.
And they stayed on the bridge.
Yeah. We've got 7 more people
7
throwing.
more getting ready to throw. And the next guy to throw is the best around, and he
Yeah.
throws faster than that. And I'm like, "Hey, man, if anyone here can
Yeah.
hit her on purpose, it's you. Go ahead. She's been hit once. She's been warned. That's the
Yeah.
warning shot." And so the guy's like, "I don't know how to feel about it." I'm like, "I know exactly how to feel about it.
Yeah.
We told him to move."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, but she could be really hurt." And I was like, "Okay, we'll wait to see if she's hurt. Then I'll laugh more if she's not."
Yeah.
Well, she even picked up the disc and put it like on top of the bridge. They walked to
very
the playground.
considerate.
Yeah, very considerate. They walked to the playground. Her and this boy are up there, whatever. So we go to the next hole, and yeah, she was like, she set it right there on. I was like, "Man, had I got hit, even if it was
I'd
my
throw it
fault,
back.
oh no, I'm throwing it in the creek." Right, like, so we throw the next hole, and we're walking down to the hole, and she comes charging down from the playground with a little bit of attitude, and she's like, "Hey, were you the ones
Yeah.
up there while I was on the bridge?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, like, hey, didn't mean to hit you, but we said, like, hey, we yelled like 3 times," and she dropped her attitude like that.
Yeah.
She was like, "Oh, okay," and turned around and walked back to the playground. I was like,
Yeah.
I wish every argument with a woman
Yeah.
it was like that. I mean,
You've
like,
never had one with your wife like that.
Never. I mean, she came down like, and it was my fault. Okay, and walked back up.
Yeah.
And it occurred to me a little bit late that like maybe she wasn't coming down with attitude. Maybe she was just blacked out and was actually
yeah,
asking,
yeah.
"Hey, were you?"
Yeah. That's
But
funny.
the one thing I say, her little boyfriend, missed out on a great opportunity
Yeah.
to like, "Hey,
Yeah.
you hit my girl!" Like,
Man up.
yeah,
Yeah.
No, I can imagine that conversation being like, "Hey, sweetheart,
Yeah.
they just hit you. You should be really mad. You should go confront
Some of those
them
guys
yourself."
are pretty big.
Yeah,
I'm not. I'm not gonna.
yeah. I mean, so, but it was just funny. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
I can look pretty scary.
no, yeah,
I have
beard,
the, yeah,
grizzled
I-
kind of.
yeah. Yeah, with my shaved head, with the beard,
Yeah.
if I'm wearing my ratty clothes, I can scare some people.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes homeless people scare me, so.
When I saw a YouTube video of these guys in the bushes, it might have been, now that I'm thinking about it, I think it was Jackass, the movie.
Yeah.
And they're in the bushes with like an air horn on a golf course.
Yeah.
And when they're getting ready to swing, these old guys, they're hitting this air horn. These old guys are getting furious. I mean, just angry. And you don't mess with golf people, you know, I mean, because it's,
Yeah, I do.
well, whatever. So these guys, they got so upset, they turned sideways and drove balls into the bush on top of them. I mean, they're like 20 feet away, you know. You're going to kill someone.
Yeah, that's going to hurt.
One time, the closest time I ever got hit by a golf ball, like deadly shot, I was at Kings Mill over near Waldo, and I was with my dad. I think Dan was there and a friend of ours. And I'm in the golf cart with my buddy who's driving. And my dad is hitting the ball like towards our direction. And my buddy starts driving the cart towards my dad. Okay? And my dad goes ahead and tees it up and hits it. And it probably should went over us.
Yeah.
Because we were 50 yards in closing. You know, I mean, there was enough space. It should have went over us. Well, the thing, I'd never seen my dad hit a shot like that ever. It was a line drive on the ground, about 4 feet off the ground the entire way. And it was coming straight at me. I leaned like this.
Yeah.
And it hit the golf cart, the seat behind me, and bounced straight back at him. Like, that would have killed me.
At least,
I mean, it would have hurt really bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't how fast does a golf ball go?
Oh.
And it's like a hard little, it's a, you know, 50 caliber. It's bigger than that, you know, twice the size, 3 times the size of that. I mean, it would have killed me, I think. So golfing is dangerous.
Golfing is dangerous,
I
whether
think-
it be ball golf or disc golf.
Yeah, I was going to say Frisbee golf.
No, don't do that.
But it is dangerous.
Yeah.
Have you ever golfed at the Ohio State campus?
No, I've not heard. They don't.
They don't upkeep it.
Yeah, not as well, and
It's just different.
yeah, it's different.
There's also a course at Delaware State Park.
Best course around, I think.
Is that it?
It and Sawyer are pretty good.
There's also one at, I think, Sharon Woods. Have you been at that one?
I have not. I went to Allen. So there's one at Allen Creek. If you look there, I mean, there's
They're
hundreds
everywhere, yeah.
in the state of Ohio. I haven't got that far yet.
I just don't care that much.
Yeah.
I don't ever see myself doing it for real. Like,
Yeah.
if a bunch of guys are, hey, you know, we want to come out and hang out, okay. Or I might do it with my kids. But I just don't see myself ever doing that.
See, I'm the type. I have, like, when I do something, like,
You're all in.
I'm all in. If I told Samantha, I said, if I'm not getting better, I can't play.
Yeah.
Like, there are guys that have been playing for 10, 15 years, and it's like,
Yeah.
you don't look like you've been playing 10, 15. Like I'm glad that you can go out and have fun and do it, but I'm like,
Now, do you have
to
the
be
little
competing.
cart and the?
I'm about to get a cart. Currently, I have a book bag that holds them, but
Yeah.
yes, I'm going to get a cart. It's going to have cup holders, a
Yeah,
fan, speaker.
Yeah. I saw. We were at Sawyer Ludwig Park. I was watching my boy play baseball, and I was sitting back in the trees because I could kind of watch a little bit more of it, you know. And there's a pass right through there, and I mean, those people are hardcore. I mean, they've got bags and just tons of stuff.
Listen, the number one disc golfer in the world right now just signed a 10-year, $10 million contract.
What? With who?
One of the disc companies.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
There's.
It's like, I mean, he's like, now that's
Is it
an
ever on
exception.
TV?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
it
I
on
think
what?
they just signed a contract
On
with
ESPN?
I think they
That's
just signed
so
one.
stupid.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Listen, you're telling the guy, I sit and watch 2 hours of disc golf a day on YouTube.
Listen, I'll watch cornhole. I'll watch cornhole on ESPN.
Yeah.
I'm not watching disc golf.
It's
Honestly,
boring
disc
to
golf's
watch.
probably more entertaining because cornhole is just literally 10 feet back and forth.
Yeah.
And it never changes. It's the same thing over and over. Disc golf, at least the course changes.
Yeah, well, and I will say, it is boring watching, especially if you don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
It's like,
Now, when Dan and I were little, 10, 11, 12 years old, we lived out in the country, and we had a couple Frisbees, and we would go outside and make our own course.
Yeah.
And we'd say, okay, you know, there's an old brick schoolhouse. We're going to go around that brick schoolhouse, and there's a tree. We're going to hit that tree. And so it'd take 2 or 3 shots to get over that way.
Yeah.
But that was fun. But, you know, we were 10 years old.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean,
now grown men do it.
now
And
grown men do it.
Listen, there are some kids that are probably better than me though. Some 10-year-olds.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's some crazy people out there. Okay, was that your thing? That was your thing. Disc golf.
Well, that was like my thing, and then we went to your
I don't
thing.
know.
And hey, do you have any good things? I have a couple good things.
Well, I have a bunch of good things.
Yeah.
You act like my stuffs are never good. My stuff. My things.
Your things.
The ashes of Stephen Hawking were buried between the graves of Isaac Newton and Charles Darwin in a section of Westminster Abbey known as the Scientist's Corner. As a final tribute, the European Space Agency beamed recordings of Hawking's voice towards the nearest black hole, which I think that's kind of cool. But my thought was the part where they buried him between Isaac Newton and Charles Darwin.
Yeah.
That's impressive. I mean, those
Yeah.
are major scientists. Have you thought about your funeral arrangements? How do you want to be buried
I don't want to
or
be
disposed of?
I would say I would like to be cremated. I think the whole concept of cemeteries is stupid. I just do.
That's pretty firm, pretty harsh.
It is. It is pretty. Like when if someone close to me dies,
Yeah.
the place that their body's buried has no significance to me.
Yeah.
Like at all.
Yeah.
And like I'm just like, I can remember them.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Does it help my memory to go stand at a place where there's a
Yeah.
a $10,000 headstone
Yeah, yeah.
that says like rest in peace and it tells their dead? Like there's no value in cemeteries. It takes
Yeah.
up land. Let's get rid of all of
Takes
them.
up land.
Listen, let's build malls on top of all of these cemeteries.
That's pretty harsh. I'm not anti-cemetery.
I just lost like half of your
yeah,
audience.
probably.
The people
It's
are
fine.
unsubscribing.
I'm just, like,
They're like, well, this guy sucks.
Stepping back. Maybe I shouldn't have even brought that up. Listen, cemeteries are not all that bad. No, like for instance, my mom's buried at a cemetery in Prospect, and once a year I'll go over, and it's just it's a point of reference.
Yeah.
So here's my.
Sorry, I like went really.
Oh, you went
really hard
hardcore
there.
right at it. And I'm sure there are people deeply hurt.
Yeah.
Because they go to plant flowers there and do all the other stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think you could take it to the extreme, but everything in life is that way.
Oh, yeah,
You could do
absolutely.
anything to
Yeah.
the extreme. Here's what I want to do. When I die, so Stella, write this down. Later, you don't have to do it right now. When I die, I want to be cremated, and I want my ashes buried with a tree, like an oak tree.
Yeah.
And so the oak tree will drop,
Acorns.
acorns, whatever oak trees drop, So it's fun because, it's like the grandkids or great grandkids could come pick up,
Yeah.
look, the acorn, this was great grandpa, whatever. But then 2 or 3 generations after that, so after the tree's been there for, 100, 150 years, you can go ahead and chop it down.
Yeah.
And you can build a bench or
Yeah.
a table or a whole dining room set.
Yeah.
Depending upon how much wood the tree would have.
Yeah.
But then you can eat your dinner on me. Or you could sit on me.
Yeah.
Like forever.
Yeah.
And so now you have a chair. It's like that was my great grandpa. He was buried in the ground and we grew an oak tree out of his ashes. And that's him. Right there.
I think that would be far better than cemeteries.
No, listen,
See,
that's
and for
exactly
me-
what I want.
For me, so I'm just not sentimental. Like
Yeah.
I don't.
I'm
like,
super sentimental.
Like my.
Which is why I want my chair.
Yeah.
out of me.
I'm like, listen, have good memories of me.
Yeah. Or
but-
don't.
Or don't. Yeah. Have memories of me. But like I've said before, like my parents, like, when God willing they pass away, I'm like,
God willing? God forbid they pass away.
God forbid. I mean, they're gonna die. Everyone dies, right? Yeah, that sounded bad. Sorry,
Yeah.
Mom, Dad.
God willing when they
God
pass
willing
away.
when they're gone.
Yeah.
But I'm like, there's nothing that they have.
Right.
That I'm like, I want. The only thing, my dad always wears a hat. I'm like, I'll probably keep his hats.
Yeah.
Never gonna wear them.
Yeah.
They'll probably go in a box
Right.
and go in storage, and then
I think about that stuff all the time. It's
Yeah.
like there's nothing that is. And here's the other thing is people hold on to that stuff and then you're going to give it to your kid.
Yeah.
And whether they're going to maybe give
Well-
it to their kid, 2 or 3 generations down, nobody's going to even remember who that person is.
Yeah, my grandmother was a hoarder,
Yeah.
and she admitted it before she died.
Yeah.
And my parents got stuck, I guess, with a lot of the stuff that she had.
Yeah.
And they're like, we don't want it, but they're more sentimental, than I am. And I'm like, listen, you guys better get rid of it before you go, because listen, I know what I'll do with it. Like, a couple family members, I'm like, listen, come take all of it.
Yeah, whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
And the rest of it's going on eBay.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So.
Or you could just say, listen, I'm putting on eBay. Family members, you can also bid. There's like a bidding war between family members and like some stranger in California.
Listen, I could tell some stories, but yeah. So
no, I think so. They have this thing now where you can be buried, instead of your body being put like in a coffin, it can be packaged in an organic fashion to be planted with a tree.
Yeah, like they're like pods.
It's like a pod.
Right,
It's like a death pod.
Yeah.
And you could do it with a tree. So I think that might be expensive. I don't know what those cost.
I mean, the average cost of a funeral is like $8,000. So if it's anywhere under that.
I mean, still, you're going to have a good job to pay for my funeral. But either cremate me, put me with an oak tree, or the body death pod thing. So
yeah, I'm like,
either or, I'd be good.
Just put me, like my dad always says, put me in a cardboard box in the ground, and I always used to think that was the dumbest thing, and now I'm like, okay, that's fair enough. Just put me
out in the backyard.
Yeah. Or just like it'd be great. Take me up in a plane and just drop me.
The box and all, or spread it.
Yeah, just
the whole box.
Just me. People.
It hits the ground. The ashes
somewhere
go everywhere.
And like, well, no, don't cremate me if we're doing that. Somewhere
just
in
your
like,
body.
Somewhere in like Idaho, my arm goes, into a farm and creates a big issue. So I think that would be better than the cemetery.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, that could go a couple different ways. Yeah.
Either way, listen, I'm dead. I don't care.
That's true. That's true. So I think, I think people ought to make arrangements now, because everybody dies.
Everyone dies. I used to sell life insurance, so
I think I'd be really good at that.
I think you would.
Yeah.
I think you would do great in a life insurance multi-level marketing pyramid scheme. Yeah. Been there, done that.
I've been wanting to get into that. That pyramid and cult scheme.
Listen, they're the same thing. I was like in the leadership for 3 years.
Yeah.
It's all the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's my second thing. Okay. So, what's your second thing?
Savannah and I were at lunch yesterday, and we went to Applebee's.
Savannah's your wife?
Savannah's my wife, yes. We're at Applebee's. And so we go in, and there was this lady, and it looked like her two kids. The boy was probably 9, and the daughter was 11, 12, something like that. And apparently their grandma walks in and sits down. So they were already there. We come in, we sit down. We're like behind them. The grandma walks in. 2 minutes, the grandma's sitting there, and the boy, 9 or 10, goes, "Grandma, I don't mean to be rude, and I hope you don't take offense to this." Like, he's really
he's setting it up. Yeah.
"But why does your face look like a burrito?" And I about lost my ever-loving mind. I was trying so hard because, I don't want to laugh out loud.
Yeah.
But I'm like face buried in my hands. I'm like, Savannah's like, "Be quiet." I'm like, "I can't." And this boy's mom and his older sister are like, "What are you talking about?"
Right.
And this grandma, God bless her, she goes, No, he's right. She goes, "I looked in the mirror this morning and I thought my face looked like a burrito." She didn't want to, because you could tell.
How old is this kid?
9 or 10.
Okay, that's old enough to know better.
Well, yeah, but see, and he knew better because he prefaced it.
How old's your oldest?
5.
Okay, so if the 5-year-old said it, it's like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So Gideon one time said this. I'll take 2 quick Gideon stories. Is there more to that?
A little bit,
Okay,
yes.
go ahead.
So he knew.
Yeah.
He prefaced. He's like, "I don't mean, like, no offense, but..."
Yeah.
And so the mom and the daughter are like, "What are you talking about?" And the grandma's just trying to, like, cover him. She's like, no, like, "I didn't put any makeup on today."
Yeah.
Just sweet little old lady. And about halfway through, so they'd moved on. And so, they're eating at this point. And he just randomly goes, "Grandma, you're so beautiful in that big old ring you got on your finger." And then he complimented her the rest of the meal.
Because he felt guilt?
He had to have felt guilt because and I'm looking at her, and Savannah can't see her, but I'm making
Did she
eye
look like
contact.
a burrito?
No. That's why Savannah's like, "What's wrong with her face?" I'm like, she's old, nothing, and
A little bit of wrinkly.
a little bit. Yeah, I'm like but it was just it was the funniest thing,
Oh, yeah.
and it just had me thinking about some of the stuff that Maddox
Yeah.
and has said. And so tell your stories.
Yeah.
'cause
So just two quick stories.
that's kind of where I was going with this anyway.
So Gideon, when Gideon has never had a filter, still doesn't, and he's getting ready to turn 13 in a week. So when he was like 3 or 4, we had him in a pre-K daycare type of thing, and I go to pick him up, and he was in like a timeout corner. He had gotten in trouble. I'm like, okay, and the teacher is very, very upset, very upset. She goes, "Do you know what your son said to me?" I mean, could be anything.
yeah,
He said, "I had a big butt." And she did. She had a ginormous butt. I mean, it was the biggest butt I've ever seen in my life. I mean, huge. She was pear-shaped.
yeah,
And I won't mention any names because I don't want it to get back to that person. But they were ginormous.
listen, yeah.
And Gideon got in trouble as a 3-year-old by saying, "You got a big butt." And I'm like, I don't know how to respond to that. I didn't even address it.
Yeah.
Because part of me says, I wanted to respond, well, you do.
You do. Yeah.
And he's 3.
Have you not seen it?
He's just pointing out the obvious.
Yeah.
Like any 3-year-old would.
Yeah.
You know, if you had big eyes, you have big eyes.
Yeah.
You
she wouldn't have
big
been-
hands. I mean,
Yep.
you have big hands.
Yep.
They don't know any better, you know. And it was a learning experience, you know,
For her.
for her. Not Gideon doesn't care. I mean, he's just pointing out the obvious. And that was a tough one. I did not punish him.
Yeah.
I mean, he had already gotten punished, you know.
Yeah, he had-
I don't even think he should have,
No.
you know.
No.
It was her chance to say, I do have a big butt.
Yeah.
I'm working on it.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm working on it.
I'm working on it.
Or, I'm.
So one other quick story, and I've told this one on air before, but it's one of the funniest Gideon stories ever. We're at Cedar Point, and at this point, Gideon's 7 years old. And we're coming around the corner in the back of the park, and he comes up on top of 3 or 4 Muslim ladies dressed in the full, like
Yeah.
the full thing, like their face is covered half, and you know they got the
Yeah.
full robe and the whole thing. And he runs right up to them, and he goes like this. He goes, "Hi, ninja." and he goes, I grab him. I'm like, you know, I mean, this isn't, you know, you got to be careful because I don't know who these people
yeah.
are. And I grab him, you know, and I do I grab him on the arm.
Yeah. The
tight.
dad grab. Yeah.
The dad grab, and I grab him really tight, and I pulled him like, "Stop! You know, you can't."
Yeah.
And so, you know, he's like, "Okay." And so we come around the corner again, and there's more of them, and very loudly he goes, "Where's everybody getting all the ninja costumes at?" And I think that was the funniest thing Gideon ever said, and it's true. I mean, once again, was 6'5",
Yeah.
6-year-old, whatever. Your son, if he would have, if this happened with
yeah.
your son, look, he's a ninja.
Oh, listen, we keep Maddox away from as many different groups of people as possible. He used to, when he would see like on TV an African American,
Yeah.
he would say chocolate milk people.
No, yeah.
Like that's just how he.
But he's 5
and
or
well,
4
yeah, and at the time
3,
he was like
yeah.
3.
Yeah,
I mean, he was really young, and so we were like, it was like one of those things we didn't feel like we had to correct it at the time.
Yeah.
But there was
The
a
older he
period
gets,
where I was like,
when you're
oh.
13, that's awkward. Yeah.
When I was like, well, and if we're out and about and there's a family, like, so we were like, hey, you can't.
Yeah.
You know, like I get it.
Yeah.
But
They don't know any
can't
better.
Say that. I mean,
Yeah.
and he's known for not having.
So
a
we've
filter.
never brought this up on air, but the first time Dan saw a black person, he was at a dentist office in Richwood, Ohio. Very white community.
Oh yeah.
And the whole community here is predominantly white, unless you're in town. But we grew up
Yeah.
in the country, you know, predominantly white. You know, he's 3 or 4 years old, and he's sitting in the dentist office with my mom, and there's a older black gentleman sitting right beside of him. He could not take his eyes off of him. I mean, he just would just stare at him, you know,
Yep.
like this is different, you know, and that's tough.
Yeah.
It is tough. If you grow up not being exposed to other cultures, whether they dress different, like the Muslims, the full Muslim thing, I don't even know what they call that, the robe and all that stuff, it looks weird because it's different.
Well, yeah, and back then, I mean, today, like you really have to. Like, I feel like we have to be on sensitive. Our kid. Yeah, we have to be on our kids so much younger.
Yeah,
because it's like.
Well, back then it was just innocent.
Yeah,
it's like, listen, it's just innocent.
I'm sure that guy that Dan was staring at was like, yeah, I mean, I am in Richwood.
Yeah,
you know, like
I'm the only one.
I am the only. Yep.
Yeah,
yeah.
But he was just fascinated by age 3 or whatever. So let's hit the next.
Netflix, watch these shows with us. Netflix, or maybe Hulu Plus. Netflix, watch these shows with us. Netflix, or maybe Hulu Plus. Or maybe Amazon Prime or something like that, like YouTube. We don't want to put a box around what you watch, so
you think it's better.
You never know.
And you until recently, you never even watched the show.
Yeah.
You're just podcast only.
And yeah.
And I do both. Well, I put together the video.
Yeah.
So I have to watch it. Stella mixes it, but then by the time I edit it and do some filters and stuff, I end up watching it. And then at work, though, I also listen to the audio portion of it. And I find myself with a couple different podcasts that have both. I think I like the audio better.
Yeah.
I like that mental, like you're picturing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When people who are not watching this and they're hearing my voice, don't watch the video. Picture me as good looking as you possibly can, and then never watch any of the videos.
Yeah. No, that's about right. So the one video that I do like watching better is Louder with Crowder.
Yeah.
The visuals that they put on, because it's a whole show.
Yeah.
It's actually more of a video show that they just punch out for audio. Yeah. Ours, for 5 years, was an audio show that we recently punched out to video. So I think in time, it might be more of a visual thing. Experience. But for now, it's kind of a hybrid, a little bit of both. Yeah. So my Netflix suggestion of the week, Stella and I watched this last night. It's called Leatherface on Paramount Plus, I believe it was. And it's this hillbilly family that killed people. And it comes full cycle. Their kid gets taken away. He ends up coming back. And he ends up just killing more people. A lot of killing. Chainsaw, primarily.
Oh, okay.
So, not kid-friendly. It was not funny. Stella's laughing. It wasn't funny. It wasn't a comedy. I don't even know how to describe it. There's times where I'm like, oh my gosh. It was almost like shock comedy. Yeah. But it wasn't meant to be shock comedy.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I can't believe that. Like one time,
there goes his ear.
Like with the disc golf, when it hit the chick in the head. I mean, sometimes you laugh.
Oh, yeah.
But there was one time where he dropped this chainsaw on the guy's knee. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that hurts. Yeah. Like I can just feel that.
I can feel it a little bit as you're telling, like third hand.
Yeah. So chainsaw injuries are not fun. I've had a few.
Oh.
I mean, little like, where is it? Right there. Do you see that scar?
Yeah.
I clipped my finger on a chainsaw once. I mean, it actually looked really bad because it tore the skin.
Yeah.
There's blood and everything everywhere. But my dad took a chainsaw in the knee one time. Oof. Just once again, just a quick.
Yeah.
I
have a buddy who literally cut off 3 of his fingers. Not a chainsaw, a table saw.
Oh.
Yeah. I can't even show the pictures. I'll show you. I'll show you off air.
I don't know if I want to.
Oh,
see
you want to see it?
No, if it. Is it video?
No.
Oh,
no. It's just
maybe.
Yeah.
So, in real life experience, we were doing subs as a fundraiser when I was a senior in high school. So we're in this industrial kitchen making subs, and there was the big meat grinder thing, and some kid had like a thing of pepperoni or salami, and he was pushing it up against the thing with his hand, and clipped off his thumb. Oh! I was downstream. The blade that was spinning spluttered. I got and blood splat against my whole body. Now this was before like bloodborne pathogens. Now I'm sure they existed, but we didn't know it.
Yeah.
And so, like I just wiped it off. I probably should have went to the doctor. I might even have some horrible disease right now. I don't even know. Yeah. But I got splattered with blood, and I'm sure there was a finger there somewhere too. I mean, part of a thumb. Yeah. It was not. And then we had to throw away all the subs.
Yeah.
And so we lost money on this fundraiser. Yeah.
A lot.
We lost a lot of money. Don't send 16, 17, 18-year-old kids into an industrial kitchen without any training whatsoever.
You're like, yeah, that meat grinder, maybe next time don't stick your hand in.
Yeah. That huge industrial meat slicer that, no. Yeah. I mean, there's a special tool for that.
Yeah.
And the guy's just doing it with his hand. Got a little too close.
It's like a piece of wood gets stuck in the wood chipper on the back, and you're like, oh, let me just give this a little help.
Yeah, no good. Okay, so what's your Netflix suggestion, Luke?
So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna give a half-hearted Netflix suggestion. You guys talked about it a little bit.
Okay.
2 weeks ago, that I watched it with my son.
I don't remember.
Space Jam 2.
Oh.
Listen. It's a half-hearted suggestion. I know. Listen, not a fan. I'm not a fan of LeBron James. It was not Space Jam. There's nothing in space. It was in like the cyberverse. It was in a computer. Yeah. So definitely should have not. They basically ripped off the name, the marketing.
Yeah.
And it was nothing. So from that angle and the fact I'm not a big LeBron fan, don't see it.
Yeah.
But the biggest concern that I had, because my son wanted to watch it. I'm like,
you're a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the last thing I want is this woke thing. Because LeBron James is like just
I can't
full
stand
blown.
it. Yeah.
None of it.
Okay.
So that's the only reason I want to give a little bit of credit where not woke at all.
Okay.
I want to give a little bit of credit where it's a little bit.
See, my thing is he's trying so hard to be Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And you're not.
No.
You will never be Michael Jordan.
No.
Now, you can make an argument that he is physically more talented. You can make a point that, he might have a greater list of accomplishments. I mean, there's all sorts of things, better stats, whatever. He will never be Michael Jordan.
No.
Never. So to make that comparison by doing Space Jam 2, there was Space Jam 1. So are you old enough to remember it?
Oh, yeah.
When it first came out?
What year did it come out?
I don't even know.
I know I had the VHS and I ran it nonstop.
So, yeah, I mean, it would have been mid-90s, like 95.
So I was born in 93. I probably would have been watching it in like 99, 2000.
Okay, so like I was in high school when it came out. And it was Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And even though it was Looney Tunes, which I loved Looney Tunes. I still love Looney Tunes. It was like perfect. Like for me, Space Jam was perfect.
Yeah, it was
the original.
I mean,
and Bill Murray, I love Bill Murray. He's fantastic.
Glad you brought him up because my not half-hearted suggestion is Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2.
I like Ghostbusters.
We've watched that. Maddox my 5-year-old has now gotten into Ghostbusters randomly.
Yeah.
He bought a Ghostbusters toy and now he's all about it. Wanted to watch it. So we watched the original a couple nights ago.
I don't like the second one as much.
Yeah, it was
it's
a little
okay.
bit. Yeah, it
the
was
first
okay.
one.
First
was
one was
fantastic.
Great.
Yeah,
but it's so funny though, looking at like
the
how
graphics.
the graphics compared to
it's not even close.
He was kind of scared a couple times, the jump scares.
Yeah,
but even he realized like that demon dog is definitely not real.
Yeah.
So. I would say that's my full-hearted.
That's right, boys.
Netflix.
Dr. Vinkman.
Yeah,
he's hitting the piano. They hate this.
They hate it. Yeah,
I love Ghostbusters.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Dan, not as much as a fan as I am. They're coming out with that new one with the kids from the one kid from Stranger Things. Now it's like a sequel from the originals that take place 30 years later. So it's like his grandpa was.
That's why the toys are like. Because if you go into Walmart,
it's coming out
toys,
again.
There's all kinds. I'm like, where did all this come from?
Yeah, so it's the new movie.
Okay.
It was supposed to come out last summer, but COVID pushed it back.
Yeah.
So it's coming out this summer, and I will probably watch it. I might wait till it comes out in video, but or digital. I mean, video. Who has a video? Like a VHS. God. Does anybody have VHS? Do you?
So we do.
You strike me as a person that would have VHS.
The only reason I do is because I sell stuff on eBay, and listen, there are several different VHS players.
Yeah.
I bought one a couple weeks ago for $5 at Goodwill and sold it for $60.
Jeez.
And I've sold probably 5 or 6 VHS.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So we have one at home for testing stuff purposes.
Okay.
So,
Well,
yeah.
yeah.
My niece saw our selling room, and she saw that, and she said something to Savannah. My niece is 14. She was, "Hey, do you guys have one of those black things that take the cartridge, the rectangular black things?" And we're like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, "It's a VHS player. We're not that freaking old."
Well, to a 14-year-old, you are.
Well, she had a TV that had one when she was young.
Yeah.
But I'm
Stella
like, yeah,
had a Disney Princess one that had one. Oh, no, that was a DVD player, wasn't it? It was.
Yeah. Which, shoot, now DVDs, I mean, what's the point in any of it?
I own a bunch of DVDs.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time I popped a DVD in. Because everything I have is on digital.
Yeah. You
I have
don't
like
need anything else.
300, 400 movies on Vudu. And then I really do. Because for a while there, they were doing disc to digital for $2. So it's like I transferred all my movies to digital copy for $2.
Yeah.
So now it's all on demand
Anywhere
on
you
every
go.
TV, anywhere
Every
I go.
device.
Every device. And on Dan's TV.
Yeah.
So
Dan thanks
interesting.
you for that.
Dan has benefited greatly from my digital experiences.
Yeah.
He had YouTube TV for a while. He had HBO and Plus and Paramount Plus and Disney Plus and Hulu and everything. Netflix.
Listen.
He has his own Amazon Prime.
So you should pilfer that. You should.
Well,
totally
the problem is I
have his.
benefit from it because we order stuff from it and get the free shipping. And all
Yeah.
that
So I'm saying, as long as you use his.
Get sent to his house?
No, just use his Amazon Prime account.
I would just do it to mess up like what he watches.
Oh, yeah.
I'd watch a bunch. Well, I do watch a bunch of UFO Bigfoot stuff, but I would watch even more UFO and Bigfoot stuff, and it would throw his whole watch list off. Suggestions you might like. 97% probability you would like this movie. Nope.
He's like, no.
No, I would.
Yeah, he would not.
Not he. So, anyways, man, that tonight went quick.
Yeah.
I feel like
Time
we didn't even
flies when
start.
you're having fun. I know.
That was good. So, Stella, it was nice knowing you.
Oh, she has.
We'll
to
save
do
it when
we'll
she's not
save
here.
it. Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Because that way she can't refute it.
Yeah.
So apparently she went on a date, and I didn't know about it.
And I was the driver. I
You
was
were
the
the
chauffeur.
driver. I mean,
listen, I barely
Jesse.
know you guys.
I know. And all of a sudden, I'm like, wait, what happened? You're just driving my God around on a date?
Yeah.
There's like 100 other people she could have asked,
And
and it was you.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. To hear that story, tune in next time.
I didn't know she was on a date. I thought it was a group of people going
That's
out.
the best part.
Putt-putt. What type of date is that? Whoever that boy is needs to man up. Because putt-putt? Really?
Yeah.
Putt-putt? This is Jason, signing off for Jesse and Dan, who's not here. Remember to always keep your stick on the ice and never wear the blue sweats.
Sit, Bubba, sit. Good dog.
I have spoken.